Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 1012. My name is Christina. On today's episode, Wendy Vecchi is showing us a faux gilded technique.
Hello guys, how are you? Good, having a good show? Live from CHA in Anaheim. I want to show you a way to use embossing paste a little bit different way. And I want to show you how to do a faux gilded look. And that's what this looks like. So I want this to really look like a vintage piece of art. This is one of my Art Parts covers, covered with gold embossing paste, and I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, so I'm going to show you just on a smaller piece here so we don't use up all Mark's camera here. And I'm going to use my gold metallic embossing paste. And you could use the silver if you like that better, but I really like the effect that you get with the gold. This takes very little paste. You want to put on just a super thin layer. So if you look at that little bit, that's going to be more than enough to cover my Art Parts tag topper. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger and start rubbing it in. I want just a super thin layer, and if you'll notice, I'm not going to cover the entire thing because I want to leave some areas open here, and those areas are going to accept the ink, and those areas are going to be a lot darker to make it look a lot more vintage. So I'll just put a little bit more paste on here, maybe a tiny bit more here. Okay, and I'm just going to give that a dry. Since the layer is so thin, if you let it air dry, it'd probably take 2 or 3 minutes, and that's about it. But I'll just give it a quick blast with the heat tool to speed things along. One thing you'll notice, especially with the gold embossing paste, when you open the jar, it's kind of a butterscotch color, and when it dries, you'll see it changes to this beautiful gold metallic. So whatever happens in that drying process is magic. So the next step to make this look more vintage, I'm going to take one of my archival inks, and the two that I choose are either potting soil or watering can. And I'll just go ahead and ink my blending tool, and then just rub this over the top of my embossing paste. So you'll see here the embossing paste actually changes color. It'll pick up the archival ink. And then the areas that didn't have any embossing paste on it are really going to take the ink a lot, so it's going to be a lot darker there. So that's how it's so easy to create a really antique look. Super quick. This is with potting soil. Sometimes I use watering can too, so it just kind of depends. And sometimes I'll add watering can on the end. So the next step, I have a little stamp, comes out of this stamp set. And it's actually a filigree stamp. So this is what it looks like, and I'm going to use it unmounted just to add some random stamping to this. And again, I can use watering can or potting soil. Black is too stark, so I like this. And I use it unmounted, and I'll just go ahead and ink part of the stamp and just randomly add it. And so that's what you end up with. It's kind of a faux gilded look. Very, very easy to make something look old. So I'll go ahead and dry this with my heat tool again. And that's the faux gilded technique. Here it is again on a larger scale, another piece. Art Parts material again, same thing, a little bit of gold embossing paste. Once that paste was dry and I had my technique done, I stenciled over the top of it with silver metallic embossing paste. So that's really cool to know that embossing paste sticks to embossing paste. If you notice, the stenciling is not pure silver. Once the silver was dry, I put the stencil back on, and then you can add archival ink over just that area because your background's going to be protected by the stencil. So you add ink only on the top of here, you're not going to add anything to the background. So that's kind of another fun thing. I did the back up the same way. And this one you can see I used watering can, so this is like a lot darker around the edges here, but same thing. And notice on this one I didn't use a filigree stamp, I used my spatter stamp, that's a background stamp. And that's what the little speckles are, so it actually looks like pitted metal. So I think this is a fun technique, it has a lot of applications, and if you like the vintage look, it's perfect. Thank you guys so much, have a great show.
Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you the Marian Smith Color Lab. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.